Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Pidave Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Thada Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhave Vacha Patitana Bhavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dhanavad Pranam devotees. Jai Shri Gadadhar Pandit Maha Mahotsav ki Jai. Today is the Avirbhav of Jayanti of Shri Gadadhar Pandit. So, though I've stated that, I'm not actually about to speak right now on Shri Gadadhar Pandit, but later on in the evening on our telephone conference, obviously there'll be the glorification of Shri Gadadhar Pandit. What I'm doing now is answering a question that was sort of an extended question of one devotee who wrote me. It was actually a husband and wife who wrote to ask about the structure for giving class. As part of that discussion, the idea of the format for giving class came up, and I mentioned that our Srila Prabhupada, in the format that he laid out, part of that was his own inspiration to chant the bhajan of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jaya Radha Madhav. So our Srila Prabhupada used to chant this before any time he would give lectures, and of course all the devotees followed suit that before giving a class they would chant Jaya Radha Madhav, except on some special occasions, perhaps the Tirobhav of a Vaishnav, they may chant Jaya Nilo, Premadana, etc. But generally Jaya Radha Madhava is chanted before giving class. That varies from one Sangha to another. For instance, in our Sangha, the Jaya Dwani is chanted, then the whole series of bhajans beginning with Guru, all the way up to Shri Radha Krishna are chanted. So, different sanghas, it may vary. But we want to point out something of the uniqueness of the selection of the bhajan, Jaya Radha Madhava, because there's a, template definition that's given for the bhajan, but there's also very, it is called Dwani. Dwani means like the echo of a meaning, right? So there's a lot of Dwani or echoes to the meaning of the simple translation of the words in Jaya Radha Madhava. And Srila Prabhupada, on occasions, a number of occasions, actually while chanting Jaya Radha Madhava, began to experience in his inner absorption Asta Sattvic Vikar. It means like the different various symptoms of ecstasy. So there was, the fortune of some devotees to witness it in various locations, and it's been noted. But why? Because understanding Jaya Radha Madhava, it seems like a very beautiful bhajan, but what is the deep meaning here? And why did Srila Prabhupada select it as his udipan? Udipan means his inspirational stimulus before speaking on the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam or any other sastra or giving a lecture. He would take this as his inspiration to enter into a mood in which to speak. So Jaya Radha Madhava has a very deep meaning. So let's try to go over it a little bit. I didn't want to make this very long, as I normally don't when I'm answering these questions. So, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. So Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari. So Jai, we know, means victory or all glory. Right? It's a expression of victory. Right? Jai, may there be victory for that person. All glory to the victory of that person. So here it is said Jaya Radha Madhava. Now, besides saying Jaya Radha Madhava, a particular setting is given for the expression of offering the statement of victory. So if you put the whole phrase in context, Jaya, Radha, Madhava, Kunja, Vihari. So Kunja Vihara means the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in the Kunj. So I don't want to go into too deep of an explanation, but Kunj Vihar, pastimes in the Kunj are of a large variety. So, and there's usually two kunjas, or two parts to a kunj. One is called the kunj itself, the whole structure, and then there's Nikunj, just like we sing every morning in Guru Astakam, Nikunja, you know, Rati Keli Siddhai. There's Nikunj. They have different functions and purposes. So in the Kunja Vihar, there are many, many pastimes that take place. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his inner identity, is Kamala Manjari. So as Kamala Manjari, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is always in the mood, Sanchari Satshamunava, right? Krishna Rati Suridrati, Pushamanam Zadikas Cha, Babu La Sitiriyate. Srila Rupa Goswami is quoted in one verse the nature of what is Manjari Bhav. And he says that when the function of praying is nourished and exceeds the Krishna Rati, because Krishna, he's the object of all kinds of love, right? Stai Baba Uttarasa Prokta Sri Krishna Vishayani Rati. So Krishna really is the, according to Rupa Goswami's definition, he's the Vishaya, or the object of love. So here though it says, when the Surit Rati means the tendency of friendship towards Shrimati Radhika, Pushamanas Adhikascha, when it is nourished, it nourishes their Rati towards Krishna and exceeds their Rati towards Krishna on a continuous basis, Bhava Ulas Itiriyate. It is called Bhava Ulas or Bhava Ulas Rati. It means the mood that the Manjaris have. So, being Kamala Manjari, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing and meditating Jaya, Radha, Madhava, Kunja Vihari. In their Kunja Vihar, when Radha and Krishna have come to meet, and there may be many conditions under which they come to meet. I hope this doesn't become very long, but there may be many conditions under which they come to meet. But in their coming to meet, may Shrimati Radhika always be victorious. Jaya, Radha, Madhava, Kunja Vihari. So here also, Jaya, Radha, Madhava. Madhava means, Ma means Ma Lakshmi, Lakshmi Devi. So here, Madhava means who is the husband of the goddess of fortune. So we understand from the view of Tattva that Lakshmi Devi is the Shakti of Bhagavan in Vaikuntha. So why would Krishna be called Madhava here instead of any other choice names of Braj? Why Jaya Radha Madhava, indicating the husband of the goddess of fortune? So this has been explained. Shrimati Radhika is the Mool Shakti of Bhagavan, right? She's the original Shakti from which all other Shaktis come, including the Lakshmis. But in Rasagata Vichar, means under the consideration of Rasa, the fortune, good fortune of Radhika exceeds even that of Lakshmi Devi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written another bhajan, Ramani Shiromani, Satya Satchi Lakshmi Sobhagya Bhalone, Parajito Hoy, Parajito Hoy Jahara Charani. He says that the lotus feet of Shrimati Radhika are so powerful that it exceeds the good fortune of Sachi, the wife of Indra, Satya, the wife of Brahma, and also Lakshmi Devi. So all are exceeded, right, by the wonderful qualities of Radhika. She exceeds the Sobhagya, the good fortune of all of them. Therefore, she is actually the original goddess of all fortune. Also, it is mentioned, Yadvanchaya tapo lalancharat sri vihayakamam sucharam dritavrata, that actually Lakshmi Devi, even today, she's doing austerities in Bailbhan, in Braj, 112 forest, one forest is called Belban. She's doing great austerities there to try to obtain the same mood of service as the gopis. So Radhika's love far exceeds that of even the goddess of fortune. Her position is so high class in relation to loving and serving Krishna, it exceeds that of the goddess of fortune. Therefore, the original goddess of fortune is Radhika, and therefore Krishna being called Madhava is apropos here. Also, when is Radhika's good fortune expressed in its highest degree? So it is explained that Radhika has 8 avas. Avas means different moods. They are personified in her Astasaktis like Lalita, Visakha, Tungavidya, Sudevi, Rangadevi, Chitra, Champakalata, etc. So these 8 moods, I don't want to go into all of them. Again, we'll start extending the length of this, which I don't want to do. But Abhisarika, Vasak Sajja, Kandita, Utkandita, Vipralabdha, Kalahandrita, Prosita Bhatrika, and Swadhina Bhatrika. So you'll have to do some study. Maybe on another day we'll go into detail what these all are. But here, the avas called Swadhina Bhatrika Nayaka, it means that Radhika has the mood in which Krishna completely comes under her control. He becomes the Anukul Dira Lalit Nayak. He becomes completely submissive and surrendered to Srimati Radhika. So when she has this mood called Swadhina Bhatrika Nayaka, when Krishna is in relation with Radhika at that time, he is called Madhava. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's deities were Radha Madhava and Gaura Gadadhar. Right? So, and Srila Prabhupada in Mayapur, he also established the deities of Radha Madhava. Right? To show this fact. So, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. May Radhika always be victorious in the Kunja Vihar between her and Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari. So now he says Jai Gopi Janavallabha. So Gopi Jana means all of the gopis headed by Radhika. Because without Radhika, the Gopi Jan really have no influence or no taste for Krishna. Oh Mukunda, how can you say that? There's literally billions of gopis. There's so many different groups of gopis. How can you say that without Radhika, no taste comes for Krishna in the association of all these other gopis? Well, the Ras Leela is the pinnacle pastime of Krishna. In Ramananda Samvad, Madhya Leela chapter 8, right, it is mentioned there. Samyak Sarvasana Krishnera Ras Leela. Rasa Leela Vasanate Radhika Shrinkala. That the highest pastime in which Krishna tastes rasa, right, with the gopis is called the Ras Leela. And in that Rasa Leela, the Shrinkala, the binding thread, is Srimati Radhika. Therefore, when Radhika leaves the rasa dance, the whole rasa falls apart and Krishna goes to find Radhika. So both during the Sarid Ras Leela, which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, and in Geet Govinda, Jayadev Goswami has quoted the similar activity during the Vasanti Ras, which is only exclusive to the highest class of gopis. In both of those situations, when Radhika leaves, Tat Tajya Vraja Sundari, Krishna gives up the association of all other gopis in order to go and find Srimati Radhika. So Gopi Janavallabha means all of the gopis find affection, and Krishna has reciprocal affection for them based on the fact that one gopi in particular is so desirable by Krishna, and this is Srimati Radhika. Even the other gopis during the Gopi Geet, they recognize this. Anyai Radhito Nunam Bhagavan Harishwaraha. That Srimati Radhika, she is the best of all. So this was the consensus among the entire spectrum of gopis during Gopi Geet. All the gopis have come together and they're searching for Krishna. And this statement is made by one paksh, means one group of gopis, right? So they all acknowledge, yes, Srimati Radhika is most supreme because Krishna has given all of us up in order to come and to be with her. So Gopi Jana Vallabha, all the gopis are dear to Krishna, and Krishna is dear to all the gopis based on Srimati Radhika. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Bhadar. So why now Giriraj Leela is mentioned here? Because you have to understand the unfoldment of what creates the Govardhan pastime. This originates actually with Kaliya Dhamana Leela. Kaliya Dhamana Leela, the chastisement of Kaliya. If you read the Gopal Champu of Srila Jiva Goswami Pad, he mentions there that it was the Nakshatra birthday of Shri Baladevji. And therefore all the Brijabasis had stayed at Nanda Bhavan and they were doing the celebration for that Nakshatra birthday. On that day, Krishna had gone out for Gocharan, means tending the cows, and Baladev gave a special word to Subal. Hey, listen, Subal. Krishna's run off very quickly, realizing that I'm not coming with him today. I know what his intention is. He's always had some desire for some reason to go to this very dangerous place called Kaliya Daha, right? I want that you should catch up to him and make sure he doesn't go there. Of course, by the time Baladev gave this instruction to Subal, Krishna had already gone and already they were heading in that direction. So Subal was late. So now, coming to Kaliya Daha, we know all the pastimes that unfolded with Kaliya Nag, and we've also seen in Srimad Bhagavatam the history of Kaliya Nag. But during the celebration in Nanda Bhavan, all of the sudden, some Sanka Amangala. Sanka Amangala means some ill omens and doubts started to arise in the Gopas and the Gopis, the elders, right? Something is wrong. Something does not feel right. So immediately, because everybody's center of everything is Krishna, they all begin to think we should immediately go and find Krishna. So Baladev, he tried to check them. No, you should understand he'll be fine. Everything is okay. But still, their desire, based on their apprehensions of what might be happening, was so overwhelming that Baladev could not check them. So all the way to Kaliya Daha, Baladev was trying to reassure them, but finally they arrived there at Kaliya Daha and they saw the most frightful sight. Krishna at that time was already bound in the coils of Kaliya. So all of the elderly gopis and gopis, seeing that, overcome by all kinds of samchari bhavs, they murchita, means they fainted. They were unable to tolerate this sight. But Jiva Goswami says there was a unique feature that happened here though. Though all of the elder gopis and gopis fainted, somehow or another the young girls who came there, meaning Radhika and all of the younger gopis, rather than fainting, their eyes dilated and they stared at that scene with great absorption, and they could not control themselves. In other words, they stood like stunned. So Jiva Goswami says here, they were not stunned out of fright, right? They were stunned because for the first time, their own maturation had started to come, and for the first time, they saw Krishna in the charming feature of his now Vyasandhi, means his transition of age. He's about to, his youthful age is coming about. So this is the first time they're seeing this. And also their own maturation. Their Vyasandhi is coming. They're just beginning the transition of their age and their maturation is coming. And so now for the first time they see the beauty of Krishna in a way they've never seen it before. Krishna also recognizing this, when he breaks free from the coils of Kaliya, he begins to do one activity which will become a permanent impression in the heart of these young girls. He begins to dance on the heads of Kaliya. The expertise of his dancing creates such an impression in the hearts of the gopis, they covet this desire. May I also one day dance also with Krishna? So this is the genesis of the gopis' deep attraction to wanting to have Ras, Ras Leela. So now, after Krishna has chastised Kaliya and everything is finished, the atmosphere at Kaliya Daha has been purified and is now very charming and beautiful. Krishna makes a suggestion to Nanda Baba, oh Baba, Why should we return home tonight? Now we've secured this place. It is extremely charming and beautiful. Can we not stay here for the night and enjoy the atmosphere of this Kaliyadaha? So Nanda Baba agrees. But Krishna's thinking, under the new inspiration of his recent mutual attraction with the gopis, that this is an ample opportunity to have that kind of association in an environment where the community, because of a communal emergency, would not see it as inappropriate. But something happens. 2 spies of Kamsa were nearby, and when they saw that Kaliya failed to achieve the end of killing Krishna, they thought, maybe if we were able to take up this activity, we will win so many points with Kamsa. If we can go back and says, even though Kaliya failed, we were able to carry out this duty. So what did they do? Of course, they started the forest fire. And of course, that changed the whole dynamic of the planned peaceful evening and Krishna's intentions for having a kind of close association based on the communal emergency, right? Rather, Krishna had to swallow the forest fire, and of course, the Brijabasis returned home. But Krishna took the note, the mental note, that anytime there is a communal emergency, the ability for the entire community to come together in close proximity is available, and there is no inappropriateness to association on any level based on that emergency. Just like we have in our own mundane experience, that if there's any major emergency or weather emergency, something, many people who don't even know each other may gather in a shelter and have to sleep in close proximity with males and females, so many different things, right? But under the context of an emergency, we accept such things. So Krishna, of course, then later, by Yogamaya's inspiration, Indradev would cause the Govardhan Leela to take place. Also, there's so many other reasons why the glorification of Giriraj, because Giriraj also is the symbol of love of Radha and Krishna. In the Garga Samhita, it is mentioned that in the Nitya Golok Dham, this Giriraj is called Sataslinga. He is the representation of Radhika's query to Krishna about how much he loves her. So I'll tell this story very briefly. That once in Nitya Golok, Radhika asked Krishna, listen, you always tell me that you love me, but is there any way you can show me how much you love me? So Krishna said, oh, so many ways, so many pastimes, we have everything. She says, no, I want to see something else. So Krishna then picked up one stone in his hand and transferring his own heart emotion into that stone, the stone began to grow. So at first it was completely charming. Radhika witnessed this amazing pastime of how this stone was growing in an answer to Radhika's question about how much Krishna loved her. And so now the stone is growing and growing, and then it starts to get to a point where Krishna puts the stone down, and it continues to grow and continues to grow. So now both Radha and Krishna begin to feel some anxiety, because now there's this huge event going on, and it may give some revelation that Radha and Krishna are together, right? So now they're both in a panic and they're trying to stop it, but their love is growing exponentially and there's no way to check it. Finally, Krishna, it's mentioned, he goes and he gives a gentle slap to Giriraj. And in this way, Satasringa, who's Giriraj, right, begins to stop. So that Giriraj is direct personification of the glory of how much Krishna has love for Radhika and vice versa. So lifting of Govardhan has so many different meanings, not only the arrangement of a communal emergency, which will now allow Krishna for 7 days uninterrupted to via the mood of the exchange of eye contact, right? Kripa Kataksha, right? Radhika's Kripa Kataksha means her sidelong glances. So for 7 days, by eyes, Radha and Krishna communicated. Also, many parihas, many joking words were exchanged between the gopis and Krishna during that time, right? And even in the presence of the elders, no suspicion or anything arose. So this is why the lifting of Govardhan is such a prominent leela. So here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur glorifies his pastime. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Bharadhari. Then, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Janavalabha, Jaya Girivadharari, Yashoda Nandana, Braja Janaranjana. So then he says, Yashoda Nandana. So why is the name of Mother Yashoda being invoked here? In the Gopi Geet, this is a very wonderful thing here. In the Gopi Geet, when the gopis were searching for Krishna and they were feeling a deep mood of separation, one criticism they gave of Krishna, Nakula Gopika Nandana Bhavan Akila Dehinam Antra Atmadrik. So they began criticizing Krishna. Listen, you cannot be the son of Mother Yashoda. It's not possible. Why? Because the heart of Mother Yashoda is so soft, so compassionate, so beautiful, so sweet, so fragrant, so considerate. But now you've gone off, and though we're searching for you everywhere, you're leaving us in this condition of great suffering. How is it possible that you could be the son of Mother Yashoda? Conversely now, in the association of the Kunja, they're glorifying Yashoda Nandana. That yes, you are the son of Yashoda, because your compassion is such that you are now here among us, and we're tasting so much sweet rasa being in your association. So this is like the heart of Mother Yashoda, very compassionate, very sweet, very nourishing, right? So Yashoda Nandana, Braja Jana Ranjana. So Braja Jan means it could mean in some sense all the Brijavasis. Also Braja Jana could also mean contextually. Now Kamla Manjari being at that time, at that scene, is glorifying the Braja Jana, meaning the gopis. So two angles of vision may be given here. In either way, he's saying Braja Jana Ranjana. Ranjana means, in Sanskrit, there's different definitions. One meaning is who gives delight or who gives pleasure. So the definition is who is giving pleasure. Directly here, contextually, how Krishna is giving so much pleasure to the gopis and vice versa. How the Gopi Jan is giving so much pleasure to Krishna. Right? On a broader scale, it also means in all of the hearts of the Brijavasis, Krishna also gives so much delight. To the elder Gop and Gopis, to his cowherd boyfriends, even to the cows and the calves, even to Shri Giriraj Govardhan, the trees, the Braj Duli means the dust of Braj, Jamuna Devi. So Krishna is the delight and pleasure of all of the Brajajana. Also, the word Ranjan means to dye something. If you are dyeing something or coloring something. So here the indication would be that all the different moods, Sakya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, and in Madhurya Rasa, Tat Tat Bhavichmahi, Manjari Bhav, all these moods are colored in the hearts of those individual devotees by Sri Krishna. So, Braja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Bihari. So now he says, and you're always wondering, Jamuna Tira Vanachari. So two things here. Jamuna Tira means on the bank of Jamuna. Because, of course, at Bangsi Ghat, right, Keshi Ghat, so many wonderful places along the bank of the Jamuna. Krishna has so many wonderful pastimes. And of course, at Bangsi Ghat, the Ras Leela takes place. Right? It is from this Bangsi Ghat that Krishna blows his flute and calls the gopis for Ras. Right? Also, Vanachari means Krishna's pastimes within all of the forest of Braj. So here it glorifies Sri Vrindavan Dham as the Leela Stali, meaning the places of Krishna's so many pastimes with gopis. They're glorifying Vrindavan in this way. Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari. So now context is again given to from where Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Kamla Manjari is speaking this revelation of his heart. from his service in Nikunja, right? He's having this vision in his Siddharu as Kamla Manjari and giving expression to it by the bhajan Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. And after describing everything, again he's referencing at the end, before repeating the refrain of the song, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, right? Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari. So he repeats again, from the perspective of being Kunja Vihari, I've seen all these things and I'm giving expression to them. So our Srila Prabhupada used to use this as Udipan. Udipan means an inspirational stimulus before speaking Harikatha. So even in our Sangha, during the noon arti, Majjam Lila arti, right? We also sing this Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, right? So I meant for this to be kind of short. It may have extended a little bit beyond where I intended it to go. But if we understand at least one perspective, there may be so many different angles of vision and different meanings given to this bhajan, but this is one that I've also heard and understood from the lotus feet of my Guru Pada Padma. So if we can also have this kind of dhyan, this kind of meditation, before we give class, chanting Jaya Radha Madhava with some meaning and praying to our Guru Parampara to please give inspiration in my heart before speaking Srimad Bhagavatam or any other grantha, spiritual sastra, that you'll give me inspiration in my heart based on this highest ideal of Manjari Bhav, that I could speak with some perspective from Sambandha Gyan. That may be a whole nother discussion. But also, everything we do in bhakti has to be done from the angle of Sambandha Gyan. Right? And that Sambandha Gyan is what's given at the time of Diksha. Right? So we have to cultivate that Sambandha Gyan. The bhajans we sing, and as I explained before, maybe I'll do another class on that. I don't think it would be harmful. But if you examine the entire program that our Srila Prabhupada, because we all came via that, no matter what Sangha we're in, we mostly came via the medium of our Srila Prabhupada. And if you look at the program that Srila Prabhupada set up, it is chock full, right, of all the deep moods that are consistent with the line of conception that we have, right, which is Manjari Bhav. Unata Ujjwala Rasa Swabhakti Sliyam. This is principally what Mahaprabhu came to give. This does not mean that Mahaprabhu did not simultaneously give other things, because I've heard this debate before, so I don't want to create a debate. But the principal line of conception was this Manjari Bhav, right? And to have a clear perspective and Sambandha Gyan in your practice of bhakti will be very, very helpful to allowing your bhakti to grow very rapidly. Because everything you do, you'll have a perspective on why you're doing it. It won't be generic. So therefore, it'll take away from it being ritualistic in nature, right? So hopefully this was helpful to that devotee and his good wife. And my Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the questions in general. And thank you for giving me a chance to remember the glory of this bhajan. Jai Vancha Kalpaturuvishya Kripa Shindavevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Radhe Radhe. Jai Shri Gadadhar Pandit Ki Jai.